harsh critic because of the fact that I am accused of letting the side down, as it were. It's not people just saying, listen, you'll disappoint your fans if you don't go on. The show must go on.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sounds of 505. Welcome to the channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're a lovely subscriber. Today, this could be the very first time I do a big series on my channel. That's going to be the ABBA series. And, of course, our guests are Jason from Jason the Millennial. Fun fact about him is that he is a Stad Chief fan who couldn't see his team go three-peat. Briar, he's a sucker for ballad from Briar's Music Showcase. Also, he loves Thomas the Tank Engine. Putting it up. Scott from Sound Lab Studios, big Beatle fan, loves Coldplay, and is open to any kind of music pretty much now.
And the 90s.
And the 90s.
I'm still alive.
Also, he loves Star Wars.
Yes.
And then to the left of me is Jacob from Jacob Martin. He loves Cotton Fields. He's a sucker for Cotton Fields.
I love that song. The
Yes, he
CCR song.
Doesn't matter which version it is, Johnny Cash, CCR, Beach Boys.
Beach Boys. Yeah.
Anything that has Cotton Fields. He
I
loves
love
it. He's a big country fan.
Oh, yeah.
As for yours truly, I am a miserable New York sports fan. I'm a big Queen / big Who fan. I love old music. I'm a huge old music fan. But who would have been here today would have been Ryan from Ryan Cam 20. Sadly, he wasn't able to make tonight's video, but he is going to be joining our series. This will be the first series where all 6 members have involvement in it, so it's pretty big. And honestly, I think it's a good first series to have all of us together, because I think ABBA is like the most likable group ever. I mean, how many people hate ABBA? I mean, it's like a very small portion of people, and to be honest, those people are already dead inside. So it's like, I don't take those people seriously. Oh, I don't like ABBA. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you do. You're just trying to look hip.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're no fun.
Yeah,
No.
either you're miserable or you're a teenager trying to act cool. One of those.
Look,
two.
Robert Plant, lead singer of Led Zeppelin. I think he
Heck.
said ABBA was his favorite band. I mean,
Heck, Johnny Rotten of Sex Pistols say he's a big ABBA fan.
yeah.
Pretty much.
See,
Even Sid Vicious, like he was a quick tangent, but there was a story where Sid was throwing up in the bathroom because he was high off his mind. But when he heard ABBA were coming in from the airport, he immediately got out from the bathroom and wanted to meet them.
Okay.
They're just a likable band. What more could we say? And I know our first full group episode on Scott's channel will be Rush, and I mean, I think that's another good first band for Scott's channel, because Rush, they're such likable people. Like, can any of you guys come up with dirt on them? Like, of them being
No.
bad people? I mean,
I
it's
think
impossible.
it's crazy that like the big sound comes from just street people.
Great sound from 3 people, and they're like the chillest, coolest people ever. I mean, yeah, that's all I gotta say. But anyways, we're gonna be reviewing ABBA's debut album, Ring Ring, the American version. There are differences between the UK and US and Swedish version, but we'll go over that difference when we get to it. But before we give our brief thoughts on the album, and I want to do this on the series as well, we'll talk about the album covers as well. Briar, got to fork over the
Background information.
All right, so of course, when it comes to ABBA, our story begins in good old Stockholm, Sweden. So first, we got to talk about 2 very important people in this band, and those people are Bjorn Ulvaeus and Benny Andersson. And those 2, they were originally part of different bands in the kind of the mid-late 60s. They were, because Sweden at that point had their own kind of folk kind of movement, and Benny and Bjorn were both pretty prominent in it. So eventually, both of them decided to quit their respective bands and decided to join forces because they felt they had a good chemistry and they felt they could write some great songs together. And they started to write a lot of songs, and by the time you get to like the kind of early 70s, very early 70s, they met two other people. Bjorn met this lovely woman by the name of Agneta Falskog, and the two kind of fell in love. They decided to get married, basically. And Agneta was already wanting to be a singer, and so naturally, Bjorn was starting to write songs for her. But even at that same time, Benny also found his own soulmates, at least as of that point. He met a woman by the name of Annie Fried Linkstad. Of course, more commonly or affectionately, people usually refer to her as just Frida for short. And Benny and Frida fell in love, and they also decided to get married. And Frida kind of was already somewhat of a prominent figure in the music scene at that point. And actually, Benny would go on to produce Frida's first solo album in 1971. And so, yeah, you have Bjorn, Benny, and now they have their two wives. And they had these songs, and they thought, why not just all four of them just work on these songs and kind of add vocals to them. But at that point, they weren't really committed on making an actual group because, like I said, each member had their own separate thing at the time. But they decided to still do it on the side. Initially, when these songs were starting to get finished, when it comes to the credits, at first it was only credited to just Benny and Bjorn because, again, still no intention on the group. But after some of these singles, because they started to release some of these songs as singles, they started gaining some traction, and they quickly decided, why not the four of them just make one single group? And they didn't have a name quite yet. And actually, we'll talk more about the album cover, but even on early pressings of their album, it didn't even say ABBA originally. It actually just listed all their names individually. But it wasn't until like later on they finally decided, they need a proper name, and they decided, let's make it simple and just have the name just be a acronym of their first names. So the two A's representing the two females and the two B's representing the males. And that's basically how the ABBA name came to be. And the album came out, the full album came out March 26, 1973. And it was actually done fairly well. Of course, granted, by this point, they still have not hit an international market yet. It was still, their success was mostly regional. So it got to number 2 in Sweden. So very early on, they already had something going for them. And of course, as we go through the series, it's going to continue to grow to places I'm pretty sure neither of them thought at originally. But there you go. That's that's the background info. And like Nick said, let's talk album covers. What do we think?
I don't have the album, nor do I have my copy of Queen 1 close by.
Yeah, Queen 1.
This is a similar color to Queen 1.
I love the album cover. It shows how happy they are. They just have like a nice. ABBA's such a happy band. It makes you happy. So, I mean, what better else for a debut to show how happy they're gonna be? And going into that name thing is that their first album, like Breyer said, they didn't originally have a name. The second album, they had their name, ABBA, but in parentheses, it has the names of the people. The third album is when they finally have ABBA, but we don't have quite that ABBA signature A backwards B forward B A. We don't get that until the fourth album, where we get to that iconic ABBA that we all know and love. And it suits it too, because they didn't have their iconic sound at first. They didn't. They just jump to their sound. It's not until their fourth album where they perfect their sound. So it kind of fits that their logo change happens on their fourth album. So to me, it works out for me perfectly. Again, as for the album cover, I love it. It's great.
This album cover kind of gives me Rubber Soul vibes. The 4 members of the band standing in front of trees, but instead of distorting the picture, it's like the picture several times getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good album cover. I like see you get to see all the members of the band. There's some experimentation with it because like there's like the main picture and it shrinks. I think I like some of their other album covers better, at least the ones I'm thinking of. Like Arrival's like the first one I think of when I think ABBA. But
Oh, that's a great album.
How many
pretty
people
good.
can you say have a album cover when they're in a helicopter?
Yeah, but yeah, that for a first time album, it's a good start.
How are you, Jason?
Yeah, it's an album cover. That's fine.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice cover. I mean, it's simple, but kind of represents them at this point. Just more simple, but to the point. Doesn't really, like we all say, has each member. Doesn't really sugarcoat anything. Like these are the 4 members. That's all you need to know. But there you go. Pretty nice cover to start.
So you're saying they weren't really a thing in the American market yet?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not until the next album, Waterloo. Or, to be more specific, the hit song Waterloo is when they start going into the mainstream.
Right, that was a big song. That's right. Wasn't like Eurovision where they kind of got caught on big?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll talk more about. We'll actually talk a little bit in this episode, but in the next episode, definitely for sure.
Mm-hmm. Of course. What are our brief thoughts on the album in general? Starting with Jason.
Brief thoughts. It's a really good, poppy, catchy album. A lot of great pop, catchy. Yeah, I can't even say it. Catchy pop songs on it. No big hits on here, but there's some songs that should have been big hits that are up there with some of their best stuff, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a very strong debut. Of course, it's still still pretty early. There's definitely some songs that definitely showcase what's to come in terms of their big success. But there's even some parts that you don't really hear too much from other albums. It's kind of because you have a little mixture, because you have pop. There's even some parts where they're putting a little bit. Like I know there was one point where I got slight country vibes for a second. Some songs were a bit folky too, but it was definitely nice to kind of hear what they sound like early on. I think early on vocally they pretty much already had it, but this is definitely where you hear a lot more with Bjorn. Like Bjorn definitely has a lot more lead vocals than most people are used to. That's just another interesting tidbit, but overall, like I said, pretty strong debut. I did like it quite a bit.
I hate to say it, but I used to be one of the people that hated ABBA. And the reason was so stupid is because my mom loved ABBA. And I thought that it just wasn't cool to like ABBA. And so she would play all these ABBA songs. And I would be like, no, I don't like this. It's not as cool as Journey or insert other band I was listening to at the time. I'm like, this is I guess for moms to listen to, like, Dancing Queen. That's just the songs that moms listen to when they're folding the laundry, Listening to this album reminded me that no, ABBA is awesome. And these 4 are 4 of the greatest songwriters I've ever heard. I'll go ahead and say that after listening to this album. That's all I'll say for now, other than I feel like maybe this album kind of sounds like Sweden's answer to the Mamas and the Papas.
Yeah.
I kind of get very similar vibes from this album to the Mamas and the Papas. Like, you got 2 girls and 2 guys singing folky sounding songs. Very, very similar, but ABBA does have their own unique charm that they continue to find their own sound on later albums. So I'm excited to talk about them.
Yeah, I remember the first time I ever heard an ABBA song, it was Dancing Queen. For the longest time, I hated that song. I thought it was really annoying. Now I want to smack myself in the face because what was teenage me thinking? I think that's a great song. And I do really like ABBA. Great band. I've really come to really appreciate the band. Probably some of my favorite harmonies in any band is the 4 members of ABBA. And they have some of the most infectious pop songs out there. So I'm excited to dive into all their albums. This whole album, Ring Ring, was a blind spot because, like Jason said, there was no big hits here in the U.S. So this whole album was new to me. I thought it was a strong start. They haven't really perfected their sound yet. I think the male vocalist is not near as good as the female vocalist, and it's probably why later on they just stuck to the girl singing because she sings really great as a lead vocalist. But there's still some really good songs on this album, and it's a really good start.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought this was a terrific debut album. I am a ABBA veteran. I've been listening to their albums for a very long time. I'm gonna say it. I love all their albums. I think all their albums are like top tier. I mean, they're all so good to me. But I'll come out and say it. This is my least favorite ABBA album.
Oh, really?
This is my least favorite ABBA album.
Okay.
Because, and you'll see the score I give you. You're gonna be like, least favorite album in that score. So it's like they have quality. It's just of the 9 albums, this one is my least favorite. There's a reason. I have many reasons why. The first being is that they don't quite understand their sound quite yet. It's my biggest problem. It's that they don't quite understand their sound. Like they just throw a bunch of things to the wall hoping it sticks. They do that for the first 2 albums. Hence why I think the first 2 albums are my least favorite, because it's just they don't understand what they're doing. Like there's hints of what's to come on some songs, but it's just them throwing different things at the wall. I mean, Bjorn leads songs, like you get a lot of it on this album. You get a lot of different genres on this album. I mean, once we get to the 3rd album, there's a little bit of it, but once we get to the 4th album, it's kind of ABBA doing ABBA at that point. That's when they start sounding like ABBA. But the first 3 albums, it's for some people it might be a rough patch because it's just them not figuring themselves out. They're figuring themselves out, but they haven't really found their sound. But I mean, I love every song on this album, but all of the 9 albums, this has always been my least favorite. But I have a lot of good things to say about it, though.
So this is early 70s. When we get late 70s, aren't we getting more like disco era or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Voulez-Vous,
Yeah.
Super Trooper.
Gimme.
Gimme. But once we get to like Super Trooper, you get the synthesizers, which the genius would be rolling over right now if you heard that. But I'm excited to talk about those albums. But yeah, these first 2 albums, any problems you guys have with these early albums, I'm like, yeah, I get that. Especially with the 2nd album. The first 2 albums, it's going to be a rough patch for you guys. But I know we'll get through it. But we start off the American version with the American Ring Ring.
Yeah, man, this is a fantastic opener to the album. And one of their catchiest songs I've ever heard. And Ring Ring is referring to like the ring of a telephone and like I think waiting for a telephone call or something like that. Ring and that chorus. Once you hear that chorus, my gosh, does it get in your head? The ring, ring, bump, 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 ring. It's like, oh my gosh, it is so poppy, so catchy. It's exactly what I like out of ABBA. My favorite thing about this song though is like they sing that the verse and then like right before the chorus, like most instruments like kind of cut out except there's just drums like do 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 to do 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 to do. Love that, absolutely love that drum. When it's just like the female singing with the drum, and then they go right into the ring ring bump up. It's like, oh my gosh, what a amazing! I just love the whole sound of that and how they change it up there and get right into that really catchy chorus. And yeah, it's definitely one of the biggest earworms I've ever heard. Definitely one of my favorite songs here.
Yeah, I agree, of course. And yeah, and there's actually a funny thing because this song they actually did try to use this song for Eurovision of that year.
Yeah.
Long story short, they didn't win. Of course, next year would be a different story, but still, regardless of that, Yeah, to me, it's just a perfect intro to this band because I pretty much get a lot of the hallmarks of them in this particular song because you got the female vocals, of course, and just some really great pop hook on this thing, and production's really great as well because I read they went for a kind of Phil Spector wall of sound idea for the production, and you definitely do hear it how it's mixed. Again, some nice piano, and Jason also brought up the drumming during the pre-chorus, and yeah, that's one of my favorite moments as well. And yeah, the chorus is just one of their catchiest. It's definitely a nice, really splendid song to start one. And even the guys get some backing vocals, which actually worked very well because I think once near the end of the chorus, then I think Bjorn comes in. I think it was a nice little touch there. But like I said, perfect intro for this band. Definitely a huge highlight.
So one of the best things about this album is that pretty much every song on this album has some kind of earworm that you are just not going to get out of your head for I don't know how long. Every time we talk about the first song on a band's first album, I like to say, is this a good representation of the band's sound? And oh my goodness, it is. Right off the bat, they have it going for them here on this song. I got a $12 word for you. Onomatopoeia. You know what that means? That means whenever you say something like it sounds. So when they're going ring, ring, it sounds like a telephone ringing. I think that's so smart how they do that. And that gets stuck in your head. Ring, ring, why don't you give me a call? It's like I'm not gonna be able to get that out of my head for I don't know how long. Like I don't know how they can make such catchy songs. Like every song on here has some section that I'm just like will not be able to get out of my head. And what's even more difficult is figuring out which one I have in my head at the moment because I have them all at the same time and it'll switch around. But it's a great song and a great opener.
All right. So this song, I think this has been said, if when you listen to a debut album, the first song is key. If this is a good way to introduce the sound of a band, and it goes triple for ABBA. This is an awesome song. How was this song not a hit song here? Because
Not.
if it was, it would have been like a number one smash. Like this song is awesome. I love that guitar part. That like drives the groove of it. It has such a great chorus. I ever since I first heard it, I can't get it out of my head. The ring, ring, why don't you give me a call? It's a really good song. I don't have much to add. You guys already shared what I love about this song. Is this a amazing album opener? This song is easily in my top 5. I'm actually going to say it's in my top 3. It's that good.
Oh yeah, this song is amazing. I mean, yeah, I agree with Scott. This is such a great representation of their sound. It's so fun, you know. Bum, ba, ba, bum. It's like it radiates positive energy. Like it's like you just get positive vibes from this band. Like I could be in a miserable mood and you put the song on, I'm like, okay, I'm in a better mood now. Sometimes I even get in a great mood. I'm like, yes, ABBA, yes, let's go. Yeah, I love this song though. Ring, ring, why don't you give me a call? Ring, ring, happy sound of them all. Ring, ring. It's such a fun song. And yeah, I agree with Jason where cuts. Yes, I don't know what to do. Yes, I don't know what to do. Oh, ring, ring. Won't you give me a call? Oh, such a great song. I agree with you guys. It's an amazing song. Well, we followed up with Another Town, Another Train.
Yes, this is another really great song on the album. It was a song I really, really enjoyed. Brian mentioned there's some folk in this album, and I wonder if he's talking about this song. I was thinking when he said that, I can see this as like kind of a folk song, maybe folksy style song. in a sense. But man, it's another super catchy song. I like that I should say, I love the beginning with the piano and the flute. I think the piano flute combination really great. Especially love the flute. Really love the flute sound. Real pretty, and love that how it sets the tone. And then you have the male singer singing here, which I kind of agree with Jacob saying that I prefer the females singing. And I say females and males because I don't know the names of the people, but I just know there's a blonde and there's a brunette female singer, and I don't know who's who, but I usually prefer their voices over the guys. But this one, I thought the guys actually sounded really good on the verses. And then when you get to the chorus, they all sing together. I love that. I love when they get to that chorus. It's another fantastic chorus that's very catchy and really enjoyed it. Loved all the singing. The voices sound so good together. So it's another really great song on this album.
Right. And before I continue, I probably should have showed who's who, but I guess we use the CD as a reference. Of course, over here you have Bjorn right here, and then next to him is Agnetha, who's the blonde. Frida is the brunette, and Benny's at the left there. So just so you know, but like we said, the first song. This is technically the first song where Bjorn, basically, if you hear a male lead, pretty much almost to a T, it's going to be Bjorn singing.
There's one exception.
Yeah, there was one exception. One exception, but
Is there
99.9% of the time it's Bjorn.
Bjorn?
But, yes. Can't get more Swedish than that. Bjorn.
Like half of the people are probably called Bjorn. It's
yeah, maybe.
It's like
but anyway,
half of the people from Great Britain's name is John.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the first one with Bjorn on lead vocals, and I do like Bjorn's vocals. Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, when you go to ABBA, and generally you just think of the females, but when Bjorn does come, it's usually pretty nice, and even later on where Bjorn doesn't sing as much, usually the songs he sings are usually songs I really enjoy. But this was a nice intro to him because this is a kind of slightly more folky song, and I've read that they had a slight inspiration with Simon and Garfunkel, so they were kind of had that in mind while they were writing. But it's a nice slower track. Again, I agree. I really enjoy the flute playing and the wind instruments on this. Makes it sound really pretty. And again, I love the chorus too when the females come in. Definitely elevates the chorus even more. And it just has this nice feel. It's just this very chill, very breezy. And we've said this before, ABBA has this kind of feel good, makes you feel happy sort of way. And it's just one of those songs where you just kind of feel good about yourself for some reason, even though it's a sad song, technically, because it's about leaving a lover, which is going to be a common thing. They have these happy sounding songs, but some of the songs can be really depressing if you really look deep, especially towards the end. But enough of that.
Oh, yeah, The Visitors.
Yeah, but we're not there yet. Overall, lovely song. This is another highlight for me.
Yeah, sorry guys, the girls beat you on this one. Agnetha and Anna-Fried, or whatever their names are much better singers, but I do like it when Bjorn sings a little bit. I don't like it when he gets sole lead vocals, but I like it like on this whenever he'll sing a little bit and then the girls will like join in on the chorus. I like that. But I guess it's like like Sonny and Cher.
Of course, I'd say Bjorn is a way better singer than
he's
Sonny.
way better.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm
Like-
just making that joke just because
like
everyone here
this.
knows that infamous Sonny solo album and how he can't
still have it
sing
next
without
to me.
Cher.
Or the Carpenters, maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Richard Carpenter can't. If Richard Carpenter is the one who goes, "There's a happy feeling, nothing in the world." No, Karen Carpenter is a much better singer. But yeah, I really like the chorus of this one. Another town, another train. That's gotten stuck in my head as well. I think this is just another solid song. And you said some Simon and Garfunkel influence about trains. I wonder if they were inspired by Homeward Bound when they wrote this song. But it's another really great song.
Is anyone else not going to mention the elephant in the room that we're throwing Briar with the title? Another Thomas, another train.
I was hoping someone was
Oh.
going to say it, but no one ever did. Especially Briar. Briar disappointed me.
We
I'm like,
mentioned Thomas
why
the
is-
Tank Engine earlier, so
I didn't read it. I didn't see it. It's
I
one of
even
those, how
yanked
well are
out
you paying
Thomas
attention
earlier.
things.
I'm glad someone paid attention to it because I wouldn't have said it. I wasn't gonna say anything.
That's like, I saw a meme today where it was like, here's some interesting fun facts, and it listed a bunch of fun facts. And number 3 was like, did you know that you can't breathe through your nose while you're sticking your tongue out? And I'm like, oh, you can do that. Number 4 was, I bet you probably tried to stick your tongue out and breathe through your nose and realized you could do it. And then number 7 was, you probably skipped number 5 because there was no number 5. And like, this is just trolling me.
Oh, but yeah, this song. So this is one where the Bjorn guy sings. This is one of the better ones he sings. I'm not gonna lie. This one is a really good song. Considering he leads it, this song is in my top 5. I think it's an awesome ABBA song. Different than most ABBA songs. This one's folksier than what I'm used to. I think somebody mentioned earlier this compared it to the Mamas and the Papas. I can totally see that with this song. This could have been a great Mamas and the Papas song, with the guys and girls like leading off, like trading off in the vocals. Yeah, I really love the chorus. The harmonies on it are great. The storytelling's pretty good. This is just a really underrated ABBA song. So good.
Oh yeah, I love this song so much. I love it. It has like a really different vibe to it when it begins with the flute, with the has like a whimsical feel to it. I don't know, something about it just feels so right about it. And I love Bjorn's vocals. I'll come out and say it. I won't go as crazy as to say his vocals were the best out of the 3 main lead vocalists, but I think his voice was great. What Briar, I agree with what Briar told me at one point where I would rather have him in small dosages on albums. Like I don't want like too much of him. Like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 is fine with me, preferably 2 to 1. But yeah, this song is one of my favorite Bjorn lead vocals. It's such a great song. I mean, the verses is nice. I think Bjorn's is arguably one of Bjorn's best lead vocals in a song. Really, really great song. But the chorus, I mean, I think we could all agree the chorus is awesome. Another town, another train, leaving in the morning rain. Ba 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 ba, something something patience. Ba 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 ba. Oh man, the harmonies. I mean, yeah, this is definitely their most Mamas and Papas sounding album. And if you know me, I love the Mamas and Papas. Me and Briar did a series on them. I love the Mamas and Papas, and I love their sound as well. And the harmonies, they have some of the best harmonies ever, ABBA, and yeah, this is proof of that. This is such a great song. One of my favorites on the album. Well, fun fact, the next song is the only song in their discography Agnetha gets a writing credit, and that's to be Disillusion.
Yeah, man, I love her voice. This is the best vocals on the whole album is this song. And I figured it was, the blonde singer is the Anetha.
Yeah.
Because I know she sings my favorite song, which is now I can't think of it, but
Winner Takes It All.
Winner Takes It All. Some of the best vocals I've ever heard in my life, and she sings it. So hearing her sing this, I'm like, yeah, she's my favorite singer in this group, and I'm all for her singing these like solo songs like this, which is like almost like just her singing it. I don't think anybody else is really singing on here except for her. And man, she's so good. Her voice, I love when she sings that Disillusion, whatever. It's simple, but the way she sings Disillusion, like in the chorus, and the music's good too. I love the music when it gets into that Disillusion, whatever. I'm singing off key, but I can't sing like her. Man, she sounds so great. I love when she sings that disillusion part of the song, but the overall whole song, she just nails it. Really great stuff. Oh no, sorry. No, the other female singer sings along too. I'm sorry. She sings like the verses, and then the other female singer comes in, I think, and sings with her. Right? Am I? Yeah.
So Agneta does the whole song. She sings the entire song. It's like a solo song, pretty much.
Yeah, I wrote down that I think I heard another female voice somewhere in there. Anyways, but it's mostly just her.
Maybe
Also,
it's just disillusion.
Well, I wrote down. I'm looking at my notes. I'm like, oh yeah, there's like a duet kind of in here as well. But mostly it's her singing. But anyways, also I like the guitar. I thought it sounded really good on the song. But yeah, if you can't tell, this is another favorite song of mine on here.
Yeah. Before Briar gives his thoughts? What's Dissolution? It's like what's cool about ABBA is that Bjorn and I mean the real talent of the band is, I mean, vocally the real talent of the band is the female vocals, Frida and Agneta, but the talents behind that, lyrically and musically, is Benny and Bjorn. I mean, they're like the Elton
Yeah.
John / Bernie Taupin. Like Bernie, like Bjorn is the Ben of the Bernie Taupin of the group, and Benny's the Elton John of
Agnetha is Elton John's piano, and Anna Fried is Elton John's voice.
yeah, pretty much. And what's cool about this is that Agnetha, she wrote the music, and musically, I mean, you like the music, right? Musically, not just like the lyrics and all that. Yeah, that was her. That's the only time she ever wrote music for it, and it's like, man, what would have been cool if we would have gotten more of that. But that was just a side tangent of what could have been. But anyways, Briar, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just kind of, it's a shame that this is her only writing credit, because I think she could have come up with some nice stuff here. But yeah, this is another highlight, of course. It's a pop song, but there's slight ballad tendencies, which definitely up my alley. There's some really nice piano playing on this, and Jason mentioned guitar is really good, and some really good bass playing. I really noticed the bass on that track. Very melodic, which I like. And yeah, overall, this is just a great showcase for Agnetha. Because her and Frida have slightly different voices. Agnetha has a more higher pitch, and than Frida. Frida has a bit more of a lower edge. But still, like, it's extremely nice vocally. It's not too complicated. It's a pretty simple track, but it's effective, and without a doubt, this is yet another highlight from me. So really strong, really good.
Eventually, I'll figure out how to tell their voices apart when I listen to more ABBA. Hey, just so you know, I used to not be able to tell Lennon from McCartney apart, so...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when I first started listening to the Beatles, it just sounded like, oh no, British tea, hum-de-dum. Yeah, this is another fantastic song. The chorus, oh my goodness. I don't know what it is, but when she does the disillusion, when she does the disillusion, like, I can't even do it. She kind of like slides up into it and has like, where she like almost slips into a different voice when she hits the high note there. It's just like, oh, that is so good. And then again, that chorus has been stuck in my head for as long as I've heard this album. And then when I was re-listening to this album, I was looking forward to listening to this one again just because I remembered it was so good, and I was not disappointed. This song is fantastic.
Scott, you thought it was, I mean, you couldn't tell John Lennon and Paul McCartney apart. When I was first listening to Fleetwood Mac, I couldn't tell Lindsay and Christine apart.
Oh, you know what? That's funny. Me neither. And what's even funnier is, I think I've said this before, but I thought that Christine McVie sounded like Billy Joel.
Oh my!
I don't know what it was.
All right. I'm not gonna lie. When I listened to this album, I wasn't as crazy about this song when I first heard it. I thought it was kind of a boring track, but just sitting here, processing this song and this album, I do really like her vocals on this song. And I do remember the chorus. There's other songs that I've rated higher than Disillusion originally. I can't even tell you a single thing about some of the other tracks that we'll get to. But this one, I'm not saying I'm like blown away by this song, but I do remember that chorus, and it's a pretty good chorus. So, to me, this is just an okay track. I think I like ABBA better when you got like the harmonies going on, but Agnifia, whatever her name is, she does a good job singing this song. So I'm gonna say this song is just okay.
I agree with Jason. I think this is an outstanding song on the album. Her voice on this was outstanding, like really, really good. And to hear her just sing by herself just goes to show how great of a vocalist she is. Yeah, it's powerful. Her voice is so powerful. Disillusion's all you left to me. And then like at the end when she does it again, disillusion. Like, yes, this is it's a great song. I was afraid Jason was gonna be the one who didn't like it, but I was surprised. I'm like, yeah, Jason's probably not gonna like it. Everyone else I could see liking it, but Jason was the big surprise. I'm happy you like this one, Jason. It's really, really it's a dark horse track. It's a very underrated song. It's a song that you'll never hear unless you're listening to the album. Like you'll never hear this on any radio station. But we get to their very first single. People need love. People need hope.
It's another great song. I mean, these first four songs are, I'll say right now, are my four favorite songs on the album. I mean, this is somewhat top heavy, I guess, in a sense. I'm like going to these four, and I'm like, holy cow, each song is so good. Like they haven't missed one so far. Like what a good beginning to this album. And this is another one where, man, that chorus is so good. When they get to that, people need hope, people need something, people need da-da. Oh my gosh, it's so, how can you not sing along to that? Every time I'm hearing it, I'm just singing along. People need hope. It is so good, that chorus. The other thing I love about the song, there's a sound in here, and someone else can talk about it maybe as well, but it sounds like a guitar like fading in or something, and it's like it has like this really cool like crescendo, like it starts soft, it's just very quick, but it's like the way they transition from like verse to chorus is they're singing, and all of a sudden you hear that like this. Oh, I love it. Like it's such a cool sound that really helped with the transition from verse to chorus, whatever. That was such a cool sound. I was like, wow. It's like you could have done without that, but you add that in, it just makes the song even better, in my opinion. But yeah, it's
I'm gonna
another.
have to listen for that and see what that is.
It's absolutely amazing.
I'll be back with that.
All right. Yep. Once again, I'm on the same page. Yep. It's another really great song. Yeah, it was their first single, and yeah, and I said this earlier, but when this came out as a single, it was just listed under their names individually. But of course, it was a big hit in Sweden. It was in the top 20. So still early on, they really were getting somewhere. And lyrically, it's basically they're all you need is love. The whole all you need is love sort of thing. People need love, that whole thing. But overall, the song just has this very catchy bounce to it. Just this kind of nice beat to it, and just the chorus is catchy. It's definitely a chorus you could definitely sing along to. Like again, another one of those songs you can be drunk in a bar. You're just arm in arm, just kind of singing this song, going side to side.
I love you,
man. Yeah, there you go. Bring your brothers in there. In any case, but I also really love near the end you get the key change. I think when the key changes, I really love how it sounds even more, and it just kind of keeps flowing through. And what's kind of funny, because near the end you also hear what sounds like yodeling, and I'm like, yep, still can't get any more Swedish than that. But I don't mind it though. I thought it was kind of fun. But yep, another highlight for sure. Very good.
Jason, you caught something I didn't.
Okay.
That sound is a reversed guitar chord.
Okay.
I didn't catch that. Listen to it. I had to listen very carefully for it, and I heard like, "Is that what that is?" And listen to it. Yeah, that's what it is. That's cool. I didn't notice that. Good ear. Major earworm alert. People need love. People need hope. People need loving. People need trust in the fellow man. Now, gonna get stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Man, of all the songs on this album, I think this is probably the one that's gonna get stuck in your head the most. This song almost has kind of a Fleetwood Mac vibe before Fleetwood Mac, as that was a thing. Like, it kind of gives me a vibe of that. I like how you have all the different singers kind of trading off. People need hope. People need loving. People need trust in your family. Oh, I'm going to have that stuck in my head. I'm going to have all these songs stuck in my head, but you know what? It's okay because it's catchy. I like this one.
All right. So when I first heard this album, this song came on. I'm like, this is going to be one of my favorite songs on the album, isn't it? And sure enough, it's still one of my favorite songs on this album. Specifically for the earworm factor. People need hope. People need loving. People need drugs and a fellow man. And every time I hear this song, I'm like going, people need hope. People need love. I'm like vibing to this song. This song slaps so hard. This is a great track. And even in the verses, I love the alternation between like the male guys and the female guys on each line in the verse. I thought that was really cool. That builds up to the chorus. And Briar mentioned the key change. I loved it as well. I'm a sucker for key changes that really pay off in a epic way. And this is definitely one of those songs that do that. So yeah, I don't really have too much else to add. This is another outstanding ABBA song. Again, like Ring Ring, I'm surprised this wasn't a major hit anywhere that's not Sweden, because this is an awesome song.
Yeah, I gotta agree again. This is an awesome song. I mean, you're gonna get. I mean, there's not gonna be a single bad review for me for ABBA. I love all their songs, and this is such an amazing. I just love this song. It's just like people need love. People need hope. People need loving. People need trust in a fellow man. Oh, I love that. People need love, hope. People need loving. People need trust from a fellow man. La 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 la. I mean, the na 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 nas remind me of the na na nas from Take Me to the Pilot. Like na 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 na. No, 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 no. But like it's a little slower. It's like no, 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 no,
This is
no.
na in a good way, not na in a bad way, like that one Led Zeppelin song off Brothers.
It's like Elton John.
We remember that.
It's like Elton John was like, "Here's how you do the na na nas," and ABBA was like, "This," and it's like, "Great." And then Zeppelin was like, "Is this how we do it?" And he was like, "No." But I mean, how can anyone not like this song? It's just so positive. It's such a great song. Yeah, I was expecting us all to like this song. And come on, question for you guys all. You guys can answer however order you like. Good first single? Question mark.
Yeah.
Oh heck yeah!
Awesome. Yep. So get a thumbs up for all five of us. Great first single. Now we follow that up with I Saw It in the Mirror.
All right. There's two songs I don't like on this album, and this is one of them. I think it's one of the worst songs on here. And again, it's the guys are singing this one, and it's like it's one I'm like, oh man, I'd rather hear the girls singing than the guys. That's where I get kind of like what Jacob said before, like, oh gosh, the guys can sing with the girls, but let's not just have the guys singing. You got to have the girls singing.
Yeah.
But this is slow moving. It's so boring. Yeah, definitely one of my least favorite.
It's funny because I've actually heard there's actually some people who say that this is the weakest song on the album. To general ABBA fans would say. I actually kind of like it. This is basically their stab at R&B, basically. Just another genre they're trying to do here, and I don't know why. I don't know. It kind of works for me. It is a slower song, but it's just another song I kind of vibe with. I really like the intro. There's a short bass intro I thought was kind of cool. And yeah, it just kind of keeps moving along. And sometimes the female singers chime in every once in a while, which is when they do show up, it actually sounds pretty good. There's some really nice electric piano on this track. Gives me somewhat of a ballad feel a little bit. I like this one quite a bit. It's definitely not in the top 5, but I kind of vibe with it.
This is definitely one of my least favorites on the album, and a lot of it does come down to it being Bjorn singing most of the song. It's not as bad as another song that Bjorn sings that we're going to talk about later on that really got on my nerves, but we'll get to that one later. The only part that I can really remember of this is whenever he goes, "When this boy cries," and then the other singers come in, "This boy cries." That's about all I can remember about this song. Still more memorable than Before They Make Me Run because of that chorus thing, but still not one that I would put in my top 5.
All right, so I'm gonna agree with Jason on this one. I think this is the worst song on the album. It's only in you.
You like Bob Dylan.
He does. That's what it kind of reminded me of when listening to this song. I'm like, this sounds like a bad Bob Dylan impression. I thought it in the mirror. It was. I can't say it's an awful song, but his vocals don't help much on this one. I do like the backing parts from the females. That part was pretty cool, but I just thought this was a boring song ruined by some bad vocals on this one. This one, at least for the time being, I will say this is the worst ABBA song, which I'm hoping that's a rare occurrence.
Okay, so I enjoy this song. I actually do enjoy the song. Has nice harmonies. I saw it in the mirror. I saw it in ba-bum. Ba-bum, bum, 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 bum. And then, female, I don't know which one, but it's like, "This girl's mine," or whatever. I love that. I actually think it's a pretty good song. I like the harmonies from the two guys. I really enjoy it. Having that said, I think it's their weakest song in their discography. I think ABBA is a flawless group. I think they are the only group to have like more than like 2, 3, 4 albums to be perfect. Not even Simon and Garfunkel was perfect. I mean, they had voices of old people, and so not even. I mean, Simon and Garfunkel, not even they were perfect. But I think ABBA's the. I mean, Queen.
Queen has the untitled song.
Exactly, Queen.
But
And
Freddie Mercury really had no part in that.
I mean, Queen. I could think of a bunch of tracks I'm not a fan of from Queen, and with the Who, "Did You Steal My Money?" I really that song really grinds my gears. But ABBA, they're perfect. I think ABBA's perfect, and my least favorite track on the album, I think, is a really good song. So, having that said, like I said, not a single negative review on my end. So, if their weakest track is a great song to me, you've done something good. Well, I would hope this is when the album picks up for everyone here, and that's going to be Nina, Pretty Ballerina, and that'll be the last song on side 1.
Yeah, so this song, to me, I'm like kind of in the middle. It's like, it's okay. It's definitely not towards the top. It's more towards the bottom. For me, I think the chorus is really good. Like, and I almost want to say the chorus is almost always good in these songs. Like ABBA really knows how to do a good chorus. Like I usually hear some of these songs and I'm like not really into it, and then it gets to the chorus, I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. Like it gets me more into it. So it's like this is another one where it's like the verses I'm not so into, the chorus I like a lot. It seems like it's just about a ballerina named Nina, so it's pretty self-explanatory. And there's these audience cheers. Like the whole idea is like they're in front of an audience or something like that. They're talking about this ballerina, I guess, and she's maybe in front of an audience or something. So you hear these crowd cheers, which I found kind of annoying. Every time they did it, I was like, oh man, like I don't need this. So to me, it's like it's towards the bottom, but it wasn't bad. It's just okay.
All right. As for me, straight up, this is my least favorite song.
Okay.
I think the verses are pretty bland. I think that's like the weakest part. The chorus, at first I thought the chorus was okay, but especially by the end, it was starting to get a little annoying. Like just that melody was starting to get really repetitious, and it was kind of really starting to overstay its welcome. But so like I said, it's not horrible. It's not the worst song I've heard in my life. But there's good moments. There's some guitar in the back, I noticed. The females do sing it fairly well. But yeah, it's just fine. It's kind of whatever. And I do agree. I don't really like the crowd noises too. I think they're unnecessary. And apparently this song was used for like a Swedish radio show. I know I definitely wouldn't watch it now, knowing that. But it's okay. But yeah, it's my least favorite.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna be completely different on this song. This song is way deeper than you guys are making it out to be. It's about living a double life.
Cool.
The girl is saying goodbye to her boyfriend because they're gonna break up or something, and then it's like, surprise, I don't need you because I'm secretly a ballerina. And then I'm really surprised Breyer hated this song because the bass line on it is insane. Like I think there's the bass and the guitar is doubling it, and there's all these fills and little trills that they're doing on the bass. I was just like, whoever the bass player on this song is just going off on it on this. And then the piano player, whoever the piano player is on the chorus, it sounds like the piano is having a stroke or something. It's like,
I think it's Benny. I thought that was annoying too.
I thought like there's either an echo on that or they're like, it's almost like Billy Joel, Angry Young Man level piano, fast playing piano. But I thought this was a huge earworm.
Then again, you're like not that funny, so I guess that makes sense.
Oh, true. This isn't in my top 5, but I still enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm going to shock everyone else. This is my favorite song on the album.
Why?
You shocked me, Briar, when you said you didn't like this song. I was like, oh, wow.
Will this be another song that will haunt me now?
This song lyrically, this is probably the best written song on the whole album because there is a story here. You have, like you mentioned, like the verses are kind of bland sounding. I think they kind of fits what Nina is like in the verses because she's like the ordinary girl working in your 9-to-5 job. And then you have the chorus where we see what she really, really loves to do, which is be the ballerina every Friday night because she loves to do the ballet and stuff. And so, like, you have the verses, which kind of build up to what she loves. And then, like, the chorus is where it really pops. And it's like, I think it's really brilliant how it's like the story is woven in. The chorus is really where it's at. Ever since I've heard this song, I cannot get this song out of my head. The Nina, pretty ballerina, dancing flow. Just like Cinderella. And then I love the backing part. Nina, pretty ballerina. I'm like, man, I love this song. This song is awesome. Like the production wise, the song's great. Like that piano work. Ding 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 ding. Nina, pretty ballerina. Like this song has a great production. Like this is like the prototype for what ABBA did well later on in the decade. Like this was like this and Ring Ring are like the earliest indications of what ABBA perfected later on. Something else I was gonna say. Oh, the audience clapping thing. I noticed that too. I'm like, that adds to the overall aesthetic of the song because it's during the chorus, Nina, pretty ballerina. This is like, I thought it was a really cool effect that added to the song. It's kind of like the clapping you hear. It reminded me of Benny and the Jets a little bit. So, yeah, I thought this was a awesome song. Favorite song on the album. Justice for Nina. That's all.
Man, the look on Briar's face during the whole thing is priceless.
And the fact that he had to take his headphones off.
Well, I wasn't expecting Briar to hate the song that much.
Now I hate it more. Thank you.
It's not Red Rover level.
Wow. I'm sorry, Briar. I agree with Scott and Jacob. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. Wow. I was not expecting someone to hate this song.
Well, to be fair, I do hate Not That Funny. So,
I mean, to compare it to Not That Funny to me is absurd, but that's just my opinion. So I don't know how those two songs got compared, but I like the beginning. It opens up with the train. I don't know why it just opens up the train. That part I could see could be a little pointless, but anyways, the song opens up and the lyrics are great. Every day in the morning on her way to the office, you can see her as she catches a train. Oh yeah, the train. Yeah, but I don't get why they add the train anyway. It's like just a face among a million faces, just another woman with no name. And then like, it just builds up, and then you finally get to the chorus, like Nina, pretty ballerina. Now she is the queen of the dancing floor. This is her moment she's waited for. Just like Cinderella. She's like Cinderella. Love that. I love that. It is such a fun song. I could care less who hates this song, who loves it. I love this song. This is the earworm of all earworms, especially that chorus. I mean, that chorus is infectious. Oh, love it. It's such a fun song. It's a shame that it got compared to Not That Funny. It's a shame.
Well, Not That Funny was brought up because that's a song that Briar doesn't like and Scott likes. That's the
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Nina, Pretty Ballerina. It's another song that is those two differ on.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as it wasn't Family Man.
Well,
I listened to both songs because those were like the two most divisive Fleetwood Mac songs. I hated Family Man. I hated Not That Funny. I thought it was annoying. I actually thought Family Man was hilariously catchy. Family Man.
Don't get me started on that song. We won't talk about that right now.
Anyways, guys, we're gonna flip the record over, and we're gonna get to "Love Isn't Easy."
Thank God we spent way too long on that.
But it sure is hard enough. Hey, when we like a song, we're gonna spend time on it. You know the rules.
I'm gonna hate it more. So there you go.
You know what? That's okay.
I'm more on your side, Briar, just to say.
Jason was like, "It's okay." So Briar didn't have much backup there. I feel bad for him, actually.
Yeah, I'm more on Briar's side than everybody else probably. But anyways, Love Isn't Easy, but sure, it's hard enough. This song really grew on me. I first heard it and I was like, yeah, it's okay. I wasn't super crazy about it, but then I heard it again today and I was like, never mind. This was a really good song. It's another one that was super catchy, really got it to me. I love the melody. The melody is so catchy, so great throughout. I love how we have like the guys singing. it's like they're singing together, and then it stops, and then the girls come in and they sing a little part together. And I kind of loved it when the girls came in and sang their part. Their part was great. And then right before we get to right when we get to the chorus, I think one of my favorite parts, again, kind of mentioned before, but the drum beat is so good. There's like this one part, I don't know, where they're singing, and then all of a sudden they stop, and there's like this drum that goes boing, and it sounds like a timpani drum, I think they call it. Those big round drums that you doom 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 doom. You know, it sounds like one of those drums or something like that. I just love that sound when they boom, whatever they hit that drum right when they get into that, I think, chorus, if I remember right. But it's another great chorus and super catchy. Love how they use the voices on different parts. I thought it was a really good use of the male and female voices again. So yeah, it's another, I think, fantastic song.
All right. Yeah, this was a nice song. Like it. The chorus was pretty good. Really nice rhythm guitar on this track. And I like what sounds like a xylophone. I think whatever that percussion instrument was that they use, I thought that was a really nice touch. I think it added to it a really good deal. Again, vocals really good. I don't have much else to say, but I like the song quite a bit. Yeah.
I feel like this song is kind of like the most song that sounds like later ABBA, if you ask me. The song structure is very unique. You have a chorus, but then you have like a pre-chorus where the girls come in, it's like,
Yeah.
and you think that's the chorus, but then they both come in, they go down, 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 and it's like the way that comes in, like you don't expect the song to go there. You expect it to go somewhere else, and it's just like, this is really cool. I thought there's some really good guitar playing on this song as well. I like this song. This is a very good song. I really like this one. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, something about this song was just like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, I like this song fine. It's not one of my favorites on the album. I think I will admit side 1 is a stronger side to me than side 2. Like,
Yeah.
4 out of the 5 songs on side 1 are in my top 5. But I guess this song's pretty catchy. It's got a good flow to it. I like some of the harmonies that are in it. I think it lacks like the wow factor of some of my favorite songs on this album, but I still think it's pretty good.
Well, Briar, we could get along again because I am in agreement with you. This is a great song on the album. I love that guitar in the beginning with the. You mentioned something in the beginning about them going for like a country sound for a little bit. I think this is the song you're mentioning, right? Was this the one you had in mind?
Yeah, I had. This was the one.
Okay.
You know what else? It's crazy because I watched As It Should Be. I know Jason watched him for a little bit, but he also mentioned that on his ABBA ranking. So I guess it's yeah, I agree with both of you guys. It has like a cool country sound to it, and yeah, it's a great song. Yeah, I love when the female goes. Oh, it's fun. I love that. And the chorus is so great. You gotta have patience. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
Something about sensation. Bum, 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 bum. Love isn't easy, but it sure is hard enough. I mean, come on. The chorus is so fun. I love the chorus. I mean, I know you guys are gonna. I mean, I'm glazing ABBA as much as a LeBron James glazer does. I know people are like, how can he like ABBA this much? I just love ABBA. I love everything ABBA, just how I am. And yeah, I agree. This is a great song. I love it. I'm sorry. I'm so cheery about this.
Nick is the ABBA like I am with Elvis.
Pretty much. But we get to Frida's first lead vocal, me and Bobby and Bobby's brother.
Yeah, it's another song I thought was okay. It's not one of my top favorite songs. I think it's another one where I'm like the verses I wasn't like really into, but then the chorus hits and it's like, okay, this is another the me and Bobby's brother. Like it's catchy. I like it when I get to that chorus, and overall I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's definitely towards the middle for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think it's another pretty nice song. Again, vocally is done really good. I think we're pretty solid overall. Really like the acoustic guitars on the track. Nice piano. There was some kind of whistle I picked up, which was kind of interesting, but I didn't. I kind of thought that was kind of nice. Um, yes, it's definitely. Again, it's not my top 5, but it's still a pretty good song. Yeah, another song I really enjoyed.
For me, this one was just okay. I liked the storytelling better than I did the actual song, other than the chorus. Me and Bobby's brother. That's another one of those earworms. But the rest of the song, I don't really remember musically. I do know it's a story about Anna Fried looking back at, or her character in this song, looking back at when she was younger, hanging out with Bobby and Bobby's brother, and fondly recalling childhood memories. And I thought that was cool. But other than the chorus, I didn't think the song was very interesting musically when we're talking about the verses.
Um, yeah, I like this one as well. I do like the writing of it. The storytelling it evokes, I thought was pretty good. Um, really catchy chorus. I like the alternation of vocals on this song. Didn't quite make my top 5, but I'm going to call this one an honorable mention.
Okay. I mean, knowing me, you're gonna know what I'm gonna say. I thought this was another terrific song on the album. You guys are entitled to your opinion, of course. I'm not. I feel bad for liking all these songs. I want to be critical. I really do. I want to be like, yeah, this song sucks. That's one ABBA song I don't like. I want to dislike a song because I don't want to be like a Taylor, one of those Swifties that just loves everything about the artist, what they do. But if I like a song, I like a song. I'm not gonna force myself to dislike it. But
You just don't understand Revolution 9.
yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm
I
not gonna be
don't
like,
think you understand what John was going through. He was dating Yoko. Exactly. She was an avant-garde artist. Don't you know what that means?
I'm not gonna be like, guys, my favorite band's Queen. I gotta love Untitled. That, like, if I don't like Untitled, that means I'm a fake Queen fan. No, I'm not gonna force myself to like that, But going back to this song, I love the chorus on this. Well, there was me and Bobby's brother. Please take me back to that place where I've got all the memories. Those were our happiest days. Bum, 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 bum. It's like, yes. I'm glad Briar picked up on the flute there. Boop, 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 boop. I'm glad you picked up on that. I thought that was pretty cool too, and pretty good debut vocals from Frida. I'm happy she got a debut here. I will admit, of the two lead vocalists, her and Agnetha, I will say Agnetha is the better of the two, in my opinion. I'm sure we all agree on that. I'm not sure. We'll get more opinions on that when we hear more from Frida. But I thought this was another really, really good song. We follow that up with "He Is Your Brother."
Yeah, another brothers song. I was like, okay, we're getting hitting in on the brothers here, but yeah, this one kind of similar to the last one, I guess. For me, I was like, it's okay. It's definitely not one that stands out for me on the album. The only thing I kind of remember is I like the electric guitar opening to the song. There's not a lot of electric guitar, I don't think, on the album. There's like 2 songs I can think of right now that he kind of used electric guitar. And because you don't think of ABBA and electric guitars, really, they're more poppy than rock. Anyway, so but I like the use though of that guitar in the opening at least, and again the chorus was pretty good, but the rest song just okay.
All right. Okay, so I agree once again. Yeah, so I do like it. Again, it's solid. Like you said, again, this is not the only because this is not the only song with electric guitar. We'll get to that later, but near the end. Um, but it was interesting. I think the piano playing is really good. Of course, vocals again solid as well, and I did like the chorus to it too. Nice backing vocals. Yeah, another one I don't have a ton to say about it, but it's still not bad. It's still pretty good. I'll still enjoy it when I put it on.
This was a pretty decent song. I enjoyed it when I was listening to it. Not one of my favorites, but I thought it was pretty good.
All right. This one, I'm not gonna lie, this was one that I listened to, and I was listening to it. I'm like, this song's fine, but now that I'm sitting here talking about it, I can't tell you a single thing about this song. It's just one of those that just kind of goes in one ear and out the other.
Before They Make Me Run.
I guess this is the Before They Make Me Run of this album. There's a couple of songs that are like that for me on this back half, but I like the Other Brother song a lot better. Like this one, just I guess you can call this a mess song. Like it's not. I saw it in the mirror, but it's not great either.
I think Before They Make You Run is going to be the song that's going to haunt me because the what's I said, yeah, I like this song, but every time you're like, hey, what does that song sound like? Keith Richards sings on it. There's guitar in it. There's singing involved. Like I can't tell you, even now. Like Scott mentions Before They Make It Run, I'm like, yeah, that song on Some Girls. Next. So even it's funny you mentioned that. I'm like, crap. How does that song go again?
That was me with Royal Orleans by Led Zeppelin. I used to be like, I have no idea what that song sounds like.
For me, it's like I have no excuse because I heard that album so many times. That's the inexcusable part. You guys are new to this album. For you, Jacob, it's new to you. Some Girls I've heard like countless times, and I still can't tell you guys how that song sounds like.
I'm guessing
sorry,
they say Before They Make Me Run in it.
Before They Make Me Run.
That's gonna drive me crazy now. Like, how does that song go again? I don't want to go back to it too because I'm gonna feel like a fake Stones fan, but whatever. I enjoy this song. It's I like, you know what's crazy is that I feel like I'm the only one who gets the chord, like the beginning piano with the. It sounds like the one that they would use for Dancing Queen a little bit. I don't know who remembers this song. It gives me Dancing Queen a little with that. But like instead of it going with a bum bum bum, it goes into the guitar. Catches me as well. Sorry, take two. It catches me off guard sometimes. I'm like, Dancing Queen? Oh, he's your brother. But I love the chorus. I love the chorus. It's like, treat him well. He is your brother. Brother. Bum, 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 bum. That's a nice chorus. I enjoy the song.
Nick, you saying that piano intro reminds you of Dancing Queen reminds me that Uptown Girl by Billy Joel and Love Shack by the B-52s have the exact same drum fill that starts the song. So every time I hear da-da-da, I'm like, Uptown Girl? And half the time I get Love Shack instead. I'm like, no.
It's a Love Shack.
I'm like, I wanted Billy Joel.
That's funny.
It's like, 15 miles to the Love Shack? No.
Okay, now we get to the next song. We get another song. Kind of. This is the only. I have a really fucked up backstory on this one. This was the B-side to a movie soundtrack of a porno. Yes. Before we review this song, I have to mention that. You guys have to know this before we review the song. This was a B-side. Not only was it so like they made it, by the way, Bjorn and Benny made it. This is a Bjorn and
Wait,
Benny
they're in
track.
it?
I'm not sure, but this was a B-side to a theme that they made of a porno. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
wanted
Is it available?
Um,
maybe
was their daughter's name Michelle?
perhaps
Guns N'
I don't
Roses
know.
reference.
But yeah, so fun fact, ABBA has something to do with the porno. I didn't
Interesting.
I wanted to say this in the group chat, but I felt like I needed to see all your guys' reactions.
Uh,
No, that totally made me feel
Okay.
better.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
uh,
Yeah, after the
I
ballerina
cannot,
song, I feel a lot better now.
I cannot think of this song the same way again now. Thank you, Nick.
I'm not saying this was in the porno. I'm saying
I
this
was debating putting this in my top 5, but now I'm not going to be able to.
B-side.
this was a B side to a theme to a porno.
Oh my
All right,
goodness.
all right,
Mm.
all right, Jason. Talk about the B side to the porno.
Okay. Hopefully this is better than the A-side, I guess. Yeah, it's funny. I wasn't sure if this song was going to be concluded. But this isn't in the on Wikipedia. When I looked at the track listing, this wasn't in the 12-song track listing. But if you go on Spotify, they have 15 songs in a different song arrangement on Spotify. So I wasn't sure if this was going to be added, but I listened to it just in case. But I didn't listen to it that much, so it's a song that I'm not as familiar with as the other songs. But overall, I just wrote down that I thought it was okay, and it had a good chorus, and that's about all I remember.
Well, as I said, I was pretty mad before, but now knowing that this wasn't a porno, I feel 100% better now. Any case, so with all that said, what do I think of the song? Yeah, it was all right. I mean, honestly, the fact that it wasn't a porno is what makes it more memorable. But I'll never forget this song now. But I like the intro though. I like the guitar, the chimes in the beginning. I thought those sound pretty nice. But then from that point onward, it's just kind of more by the numbers. It's kind of nothing that kind of stands out too much. And it's short too. It's not really that long either. I think it's one of the shortest songs on this album. Am I correct? Let me just look. See, yep, it's like about 2-ish minutes, or a little over 2 minutes. But yeah, it's not. It's definitely. It is kind of near the bottom for me. But man, that fun fact, man, I'll never forget that. That made my night. Thank you very much, Nick.
Did that make up for Nina Pretty Ballerina?
Oh, 100%. I said, I feel 100% better.
I had to. I mean, I didn't know that would make your night, but I'm like, they have to know this. Like, how do I drop it though? Do I give it in the group chat so that you guys give? I'm like, no, they have to know this live on StreamYard while we're recording that this was a B side.
Plus, it gives you funny reactions.
Well,
Yeah,
I wonder what the
funny.
A side. What was the A side?
The
He said
theme.
it was like the porno's theme song.
Inga theme. Inga theme.
I
I'm
ain't
looking at
gonna look that up.
and like
That-
5 or 6
that one Kinks album. What was that called? The soundtrack with the. Oh
Percy,
yeah.
Oh, Percy.
which is a Thomas character.
Oh.
Yeah, when I heard what that Percy was about, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what
I
transplant?"
found the plot synopsis of that movie on Wikipedia. So
And I doubt you can find that movie.
Yeah,
I looked at it. I'm like, what?
Like, does that even exist anymore?
yeah.
Uh,
I thought it was a really good song. I like the down 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 down. I like this song. That's about all I have to say about it.
Well, you take away the fun fact about the origins of this song, which is kind of messed up, if I'm being honest. The song itself, yeah, I like the song as well. I think I read this was actually a solo track for like the two guys.
Yep.
Before ABBA was formed, so this kind of feels like a one-off thing, but I I guess it kind of feels out of place on this album, but the song itself, when you realize what it actually is, I'm like, you know what? It's a good song. They sing well together. Kind of reminds me a little bit. I think this is the one that kind of has that Simon and Garfunkel feel to it. I can see that comparison, and I like Simon and Garfunkel. It works well here. Catchy song. Not in my top 5, but it's still pretty good for what it is. It's still better than I saw it in the mirror.
You know, it reminded me of Al Stewart from Year of the Cat. That's what I thought of when I was hearing some of these songs where the guys sing. I don't know why it gave me that Al Stewart feel to it, because we just heard that album on our album exchange, I guess. So I had that in my mind.
I'll tell you, Bjorn sings a lot better than Al Stewart, and I'm not a big Al Stewart guy.
I thought he's fine, but okay.
All right. I mean, besides the fact knowing that these two same guys who made this very like innocent sounding, like innocent like love song would make the theme song to a porno. I think
And then write Dancing Queen later on.
Yeah, they made Dancing Queen. Yeah.
That's a very broad portfolio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the guys who wrote Dancing Queen also wrote a theme to a porno. There you go.
Oh, it's radical.
It takes variety to a whole different level. I'll tell you that. Anyways, on to ABBA now, not Benny and Bjorn. I love this song. This is like, what I love about this song is that it's very 60s sounding. Like, it would have been cool to have 60s ABBA, like a 68 ABBA album or a 67 ABBA album. Like
67 ABBA would have been trippy.
Like, imagine them getting together, perfecting their sounds, and then going into the 70s, and then really establishing their sound and like making more albums. That would have been awesome. I wish we would have got more. I wish we would have got 60s ABBA, because hearing this sound of what 60s ABBA could have sounded like makes me jealous as to what could have been like. What if they would have gotten together earlier and did albums in the 60s? That would have been really cool. Yeah, it's a great catchy song. Look at her face, such a lovely face, and it means something special to me. Very Beatlesque. I mean, this is one of my favorite songs on the album. I'm a sucker for that pop folk sound. Like, it sounds like a folk pop song from the 60s. Like, I can imagine, like, if the Beatles weren't doing like hardcore songs on Rubber Soul, like I can imagine the Beatles doing something like this on Rubber Soul if they weren't like if they weren't doing like Weed or whatever. This is like what I imagine them writing if they were still writing about girls. That's my take. But I love this song. But then we get to an interesting song. I'm curious what you guys have to say about it. It's a very interesting song, and that is gonna be "I Am Just a Girl."
Yeah, so I said there's 2 songs I did not like on this album. One was I Saw It in the Mirror. 2, I Am Just a Girl is definitely one of the worst songs on this album. I probably say it's my least favorite on the album. Same reason. It's just so slow. It's so boring. When you got Ring Ring and Love Is you got these really super catchy, fun songs, and then you get to I'm Just a Girl. It's like, oh my gosh, this is not what I want out of ABBA. Get back to if you want to do ballads, do this Disillusion, do something like that is great, or The Winner Takes It All. But this is not a good ABBA for me.
All right, I think this is the first time me and Jason are going to disagree. I really like this song. This is another song that kind of gave me a little country vibe. Just how the acoustic guitar felt. But I just think the acoustic guitar sound really nice, and the harmony, once again, I think the harmony is definitely shines very brightly on this one. Just has this very kind of laid back, chill sound to it. There's some really good horns as well. I picked up some horns on it, which I thought was really nice. But yeah, it's chill. It's just got this really nice vibe. Just another one you just lean back and just relax to. Maybe you're just looking out the window, just kind of think to yourself and just kind of enjoy the moment. Yeah, this is actually a highlight.
All right. Am I going to be with Jason on this one, or am I going to be with Briar on this one? I'm with Briar on this one. I really like this song. I think that some of the chord choices are very interesting, and I think the melody is great. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I thought that was really good. And then whenever you get to the verse, it's like the down, 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 down. And then that second chord they use in the verse is one of my favorite chords, the major 3 chord. Love that. It's always a cool sounding chord, most famously used in David Bowie's Space Oddity. It's used heavily in that. It's used in Creep by Radiohead. Trying to think of some other famous uses of the major 3 chord. I can probably think of more, but those are the 2 ones I can think of off the top of my head. But every time I hear a major 3 chord, it's just like, whew. Like you didn't have to use that chord, but you did, and it's so amazing. I thought it was a good song.
Hopefully, I'll be in good standings with Briar after this song because I think this one's really good. I said
Gosh.
there's one song on side 2 that's in my top 5. It's this one right here. I
Wow.
think this song is awesome. This song is excellent.
Oh my gosh.
This one has. I thought this was like Jason said. This song was slow. Yeah, it's slower than some of the other ones, but it's still catchy at the same time. Just again. Like I remember the melody. I don't know all the words. I guess I'm not a true ABBA fan, but according to some comments that I've gotten before on some other streams. But
The Beatles for sale one.
yeah, someone was like, "You don't know the words. You're not a true Beatles."
Oh my.
Just because we don't know the words to what was it? It was some
I'm a
obscure
loser.
one.
dude.
I'm a loser. Like just because we don't know all the words to every Beatles song. It's like
Wait.
you don't know all the tape loops lyrics of Revolution 9. You're not a Beatles fan.
Yeah,
You can't tell me what John Lennon is saying backwards on Rain. You're not a Beatles fan.
yeah.
Turns out that person was a loser.
Like you don't like you don't know how to sing "Ring Ring" in Swedish. You're not a true ABBA fan.
No, ring ring.
You don't
You
know the
guys-
Swedish Ring Ring lyrics.
You guys never heard
I'm
the
not
Spanish?
Swedish. You can sing it phonetically.
You never heard that compilation album of where they sing all their popular songs in Spanish? Not true fan.
But yeah, this song is really good. It has like this really cool production to it. Almost has that folksy vibe to it. That's really cool. The harmonies on it are really good. Yeah, I thought this is another underrated song on the album.
You are forgiven now.
I know I'm good with Briar because of the fun fact I gave him earlier. So I think I'm already in the clear. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, now I'm really in the clear. What I'm gonna say is, this is also another terrific song on the album. I mean, like I said, I like pretty much all the songs on all their albums, so it's gonna be no shock to when I say it's good. That's why I'm glad I have guests, because if I did it by myself, I'd be like, this is a great song. This is a great song. This is a great song. So I need people who disagree with me. Hence why I'm actually happy Briar dislikes Nina Pretty Ballerina, because I need someone to balance out my positivity. I need a you know how a battery has a positive and a negative end? I need someone to have a negative end on these reviews. Whether it's Briar, Scott, Jason, or Jacob, I need a negative end, because you cannot just have the positive end of a battery, because it won't work.
My negativity is coming up, but we'll save that for later.
Okay.
And I'm happy for it. You're gonna be the negative side of the battery on that song, so good. It's a cool sounding song. I am just a girl, not among the other. Bum, bum, bum. It's like a cool breezy song. It's a chill song. It's not like as catchy or as hittable. Like it doesn't have that hit sound like all the other ABBA songs sound like. but it just has like a nice chill vibe, which is probably why me, Briar, Scott, and Jacob really like it. It's not a flashy or an excitable song. It's just chill. It's just a chill song. Well, we close out the album with Rock and Roll Band.
Boston? Oh, wait, no.
I know. I was just thinking, "I'm Just a Girl." There's a No Doubt song similar to it. I think it's just "I'm Just a Girl." I don't think it's "I Am," but
I'm just a girl. Yeah, that's
I
a
bet
good
you
one.
Blake Shelton would like that one more.
yeah. And once you hear a lot of songs, you start seeing like, oh, this title's been used before. Is the more music you listen to, you're like, oh, this is a different song, a
I
different.
still remember when we reviewed "Wish You Were Here" by Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and "I'm Just a Girl" would go along with like "Man, I Feel Like a Woman" maybe from Shania Twain. He's very girls. It's hard to sing along to it. Anyway,
That's it.
Rock and Roll Band, I thought was a great closer to the album. It's another, I thought, really good song. I like, again, like I said before, the guitar is really good. Like they really used a really good electric rock guitar on this song, and I really liked it. Like they didn't use, like I said, the guitar very often, the electric like rocking guitar, because that's not really what you think about ABBA. You don't think about them as a rock band; they're more of the pop band stuff. But this was a good, like, this is the most rocking song, if that's a word, of the album. Like, not that it's like, it's not Jimmy Page or something, or Jimi Hendrix or whatever. It's not like that kind of guitar playing, but still, I thought it was like, for ABBA, that was really cool to hear the guitar playing on here. And it's called Rock and Roll Band, so it makes sense that you have a little more rockiness to it, a rock guitar kind of really highlighting the song. So it fits in with the song because of the name of the song. And it's just very upbeat, very catchy. I really liked the use of a more rocking tune that I'm not used to with ABBA. It worked here. I wasn't sure if it was going to, because I thought, I just want to hear the poppy stuff. But I'm like, I can hear a little rock too with ABBA. It works really well.
Okay. So yeah, this is ABBA at pretty much doing full blown rock, which is something you don't really think about when you talk about ABBA. So how do I feel about ABBA doing rock? I'll be honest, even now, I don't know how to feel about it. Because on one hand, I'm sure they had lots of fun recording this one, because they do get a rock out, which, heck, who doesn't have fun when they're rocking out? And there's some good things, like the guitar playing is pretty solid. The chorus was pretty solid as well. But the big gripe I have with the song, because this is another song where the males usually are taking most of the lead vocals. Yeah, they are not rock singers. Yeah, I mean, I think the vocals were definitely the weak part of this whole track. Like, again, musically it's pretty fine, and it is a fine enough album closer. But yeah, they should, especially the male vocals, they should probably just stick to the pop songs. But again, it's not horrible. It's not the worst song here, but it's still okay. I think it was decent enough.
I liked the guitar playing. I mean, with a song called Rock and Roll Band, you should have some good guitar playing in it. But as for me, I thought this song was honestly kind of lame. There wasn't a lot there to it. It's just, let's all dance to the Rock and Roll Band, and then a pretty cool guitar riff. That's about it. I didn't hate it, but didn't really love it either.
I'm gonna agree with Jason. I actually had a lot of fun listening to this song. I do like them going for a more rock and roll vibe. This is probably the most rock they've ever done, at least from what I've heard in their discography. I don't think they've done anything else like this. I think that's what makes it stand out, and I think it works for what it is. I can see where Briar's coming from on the vocals, but I think they sing fine enough, and there's still some good harmonies on the track. And I do really like the guitar work. I kind of wish Mina Pretty Ballerina was the album closer. I think I might have given the album a higher score than what I'm going to give it, but This song itself is still pretty good for what it is.
Okay. I'm in agreement with Jason and Jacob. I thought this was a terrific album closer. It's interesting to hear them go rock. Very, very interesting. I mean, there's another song on their third album called Rock Me, and I think that's a better song. Rock Me. Ba, 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 rock me. That's gonna be, I feel like that's gonna be a divisive song, but we'll get to that when we get to that. That's gonna be a song that I'm gonna defend the heck out of, but we'll see what happens. To me, I thought that's a fun song. I love the guitar. Vocally, it was pretty good. I mean, yeah, they're not rock vocalists. I mean, it's kind of like the problem that I had with Rod with Deep Purple in the Mark One lineup, where it's like he does it well at some points, but then they just like don't do it. Thankfully, there was no songs that they did that makes me go, no, because there were many times with Rod that made me go that, i.e., River Deep, Mountain High. That was a big example. Watch our video on that. Yep. I'll agree with Briar on that. I'm like, no, leave it to Tina Turner, please. But anyways, it's just a dumb tangent that I went on. But I thought this was a great album closer. In my opinion, I think I'm Just a Girl would have been a better album closer because of how relaxed it is. But that's just my opinion. Of course, before we get to our top five, we'll talk about two B-sides. The first one being Merry-Go-Round, which is the B-side of People Love. What are our thoughts on this one?
I thought this was a great song. I really liked this merry-go-round. Again, melody was excellent. The chorus was really great. Definitely would have been a great song to add on to the album.
Yeah, I agree. Not gonna have much to say, but I do think of these like B-sides. I think this is probably my favorite of them. Definitely has like pretty catchy. There's a good melody to it, and vocals were pretty solid too. But yeah, I like this one.
Oh shoot. Well, here's the moment I've been waiting for. This song pissed me off something awful. Like the chorus was so grating. Like when I listened to this earlier, because I was listening to the album on the way back, I played this afterward. I skipped half the song because I remembered how much I didn't like it. The chorus just gets on my nerves. Merry-go-round. He sounds like Barney, the purple dinosaur. Merry-go-round. That's what he sounds like. It sounds like a mix between Barney and Bob Dylan from Sweden. I'm like, I have no idea. It's a description. That's just what he sounds like. Merry-go-round.
All right, we're gonna start singing this song from now on, right?
Oh no!
Merry-go-round.
No! You're trying to get back at me for all the times I said "Family Man."
Oh man, I am never gonna live this down.
No. That'll be your ending.
Okay. Maybe I'll stop with the Family Man.
All right, fine. We'll have a truce.
Okay, but maybe just one more real quick. So the Nina Pretty Ballerina had to break up with their boyfriend because you can't follow a ballerina around when you're family man, and that'll be the last time you hear that for a long, long time. Now we have a truce. But yeah, no, I don't like this song.
I can see why this was the B-side. I don't hate it as much as Scott does. To me, it's like the "He Is Your Brother." To me, it's just kind of a forgettable song. I think by the time I got to this song, I'm like, there's too many songs with the guy singing, and some of these songs just kind of got repetitive for me. So, yeah, I'm not a real big fan of this one, to be honest.
Who would have ever thought I would just agree with Jason? I thought this is a terrific song.
I'm baffled.
me and Jason, we're trucing on that, and so with Briar, we have our little group of merry-go-round stands. I love this song. It's a nice song. Merry-go-round. Ba, 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 ba. I mean, again, it just goes down to me loving ABBA, but I mean, it's good that this wasn't on the album because Scott would have been Scott would have dropped a score for this. So it's a good thing, but at the same time, I would have loved this on the album. This would have been an awesome song on the album. Instead of I saw it in the mirror,
It's better, but I saw it in the mirror. I'll give you that.
Instead of
I saw it in the mirror is better.
I think it's after People Need Love have the B-side right after, then Need a Pretty Ballerina after. Man, that would be a really good first side. But oh man, I love this song. I'm glad Jason likes it. I thought I was be the only one who likes the song, but there Jason came to defend me. Well, I came to defend him because he came first, but you get the idea. All right, I'm curious what we got to say about this B-side, Santa Rose.
I thought this was another really good song. I really liked it. Even though there wasn't any female singers that I heard, I think on the song, which I've been kind of dogging the guys and liking the girls, but yeah, in this case, I thought it sounded really good. I like there was like a Baroque piano in there that I really liked. That I thought was really cool throughout. I thought the bass. I'm curious if Briar's gonna bring up the bass. I thought this was the best bass playing of everything I've heard so far. I mean, that bass really shined. I thought I really heard it and go, oh my gosh, I really enjoyed this bass and what it's doing. And I thought the chorus again. I thought it was a really good chorus, super catchy. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, another really good song. I thought I wish was on the album.
All right, yeah, in the same boat. I thought it was another pretty nice song. Yeah, bass playing is pretty. It's pretty up front too. It's pretty high in the mix, which is pretty nice. But yeah, this is again. It's another pretty solid song. I can kind of see why this one probably didn't make the cut, but I still think I really enjoyed it. And I mean, it's on the CD, so at least I can hear it when I feel like it. But yeah, it's a pretty strong song. Not much else to say.
Honestly, I prefer the B-side to the A-side for this one. I thought this was really cool. ABBA doing a Baroque song is super cool, so we know Nick's going to like it because of that.
Yeah.
But I would have rather had this than I saw it in the mirror. We would have had a perfect side A if this was on here instead of I saw it in the mirror, which was very divisive. But still, I don't think it's like one of ABBA's top tier songs, but I was vibing out with this one, just being like, oh, there's like some kind of Baroque sounding piano there. Like you don't really hear that in ABBA very much. I thought that was super interesting. But then again, ABBA have all these songs that they just throw in all this random stuff sometimes, and you're like, that was kind of cool. Like they just put in that instrument. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this one, He Is Your Brother and Merry Go Round are the three songs where I'm like, I can't tell you a single thing about them. Like, to me, this is another forgettable early ABBA track. I don't have much to add on this one. I like it better when like all four share the vocals instead of it just being like the guy singing. I like She's My Kind of Girl. That one was catchy, but these other two songs, Merry Go Round, Santa Rosa, I don't really care for at all. I don't think we're going to talk about this, but I actually like the Swedish version of Ring Ring more than these two songs. And I'm not even Swedish, so this one next.
That's Scott's famous catchphrase.
But that's only when we're talking about totally mid songs. ABBA doesn't have totally mid songs.
Well, when we reviewed Yellow Submarine, when we were going for all the instrumental tracks, instead of sounding like a broken record, I just said "Thank you" next, like I was Ariana Grande.
Anyways, again, me and Jason, we're clicking with these two bonus tracks. I love this song so much. I mean, spoiler, I'm a sucker for Baroque pop songs. What is this? A Baroque pop song.
Sung by ABBA?
Sung by ABBA. I mean, those two things make for a perfect recipe. It's like having a brownie with ice cream on top. It's like, how can you go wrong with those two for me? It's like, you can't. But Oh, I love the beginning. It's like kind of has like that bird sound, ba 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 bum, and then you got Bjorn going ba 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 bum. It just, you know what this reminds me of? This sounds like if the Association made an ABBA like song. Like it has like an association left. You know what this has like? It's like if you took ABBA, like the fun elements of ABBA, the Baroque of Left Bank, and the harmonies of the Association, and you put it into a blender, you get this song, and it's like, whoa, this is awesome. I like this should have been on the album. I'm still upset that this wasn't on the album. I mean, in my opinion, take out me. I know this is the only song Frida does lead vocals on. I feel bad for her. Ditch that song. Put this song as the first song on side 2. You have a great song to open that second side up. Like open that with a ba 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 ba. That would be like, you know, my opinion would have been a great way to open up that side, but it is what it is. But yeah, I love these 2 songs. I think they're very good. Really good B-sides. But now we get to the top 5.
Me, number 5, I'm gonna go with People Need Love. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Love Isn't Easy, but it sure isn't hard enough. Sure it's hard enough. Number 3, I'm going with Another Town, Another Train. Number 2, I'm going with Disillusion. And number 1, title song, Ring Ring.
All right. My number 5, I have I Am Just a Girl. Number 4, Disillusion. Number 3, People Need Love. Number 2, surprisingly, is going to be Another Town, Another Train. And number 1, I agree with Jason. It's Ring Ring.
Ring Ring.
Okay, number 5, Another Town, Another Train. Number 4, Disillusion. Number 3, People Need Love. Number 2, Ring Ring. And number 1, Love Isn't Easy.
All right, my top 5. Number 5, I Am Just a Girl. Number 4, Another Town, Another Train. Number 3, Ring Ring. Number 2, People Need Love. And number 1, Nina Pretty Ballerina.
Oh, Nina.
Okay. Don't worry, Briar. I won't go that crazy with putting that.
Well, he didn't sing it, so he's still forgiven.
I mean, I at least didn't put Family Man at number 1.
Okay, so I have a ton of honorable mentions, so I'm just gonna say the top 5. Everything else is an honorable mention. Let's just say that. Number 5, He Is Your Brother. Number 4, People Need Love. So I feel like we could all have a general consensus that People Need Love is a top song of the album. Number 3, Nina Pretty Ballerina. Number 2, She's My Kind of Girl. I love that song. And number 1, Another Town, Another Train.
Good choice.
That's it's funny. That's my little brother's favorite ABBA song.
Oh, okay.
It's a good choice.
Great
Yeah.
song.
Good song.
But what are we gonna rate this album?
I'm rating it a 9 out of 10. It's a really good debut. Really good pop songs, super catchy. A lot of good stuff that I like at ABBA. It's crazy that these aren't hit songs. These all should be hit songs for me. My top 5, especially, I say. I would say that if you took off, I Saw It in the Mirror, and you took off I Am Just a Girl, and you put in Merry Go Round and Santa Rosa, this could be like a 10 out of 10 album. It's that good.
All right. I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I'm gonna go 8.5. Yeah, I think it's still a pretty solid debut. You know, there are some songs that are definitely aren't as strong. Like they're not like top tier ABBA songs, but I think the great stuff are truly really good. And like I said before, you definitely can hear the seeds on the massive success they're going to have moving forward. And yeah, the vocals are still really good. Again, there's some really good production still, and yeah, overall, there's still some really catchy songs. but I just think there's still room for improvement still. But 8.5, that's my score.
I've been debating on what to score this album, and after thinking about it, I think I'm going to go with an 8. It's a very good album. Definitely one that I will need to look at adding to my collection. I mean, this is probably going to be the most difficult one to get a hold of because it's Sweden only. But I've looked, and most of ABBA's albums aren't that expensive, so I can probably get the whole ABBA discography for a reasonable price. But I feel like they're just going to get better from here. Like, if this is Nick said it's his least favorite album. If this is ABBA's worst album, I'm really excited to see what they got. I mean, I know some of the stuff that they got going for them later on, but I'm excited to get to hear some of their other albums. If they only go up from here.
You know what? I'm going to agree with Scott. It's an 8 out of 10 for me as well. There's some really great stuff on this album. The top 5 especially. I think all the songs in the top 5 could have been hit songs if they were big when this album first came out everywhere else besides Sweden. I think that there are some filler tracks on this album that do hurt the score, but even the 2 bonus tracks, which I kind of put on my song ranking because I thought they were on the album when I listened to it. But I still really like the album, especially for the highlights, and I'm sure they get better from here because they have some amazing stuff going forward.
Cool. I'm going to have an average, but it's not going to be the accurate average yet because we still have Ryan to give his score. So as of right now, this average is inaccurate, but I'm still going to give it anyway.
Oh, ring. We'll have to give him a call.
That's right. Me, I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10. I loved everything on this album. It's my least favorite ABBA album, and I'm giving it a 10. So
Crazy.
It's like, to me, the weakest album to me is still like unbelievably good. I mean, I wouldn't put this in my top 100 albums per se. Like, you would never see this on that high of a level. Like, I think there's a lot of albums I think are better than this album, but for ABBA, I think it's a terrific album. I love everything on here. There's, like I said, my least favorite song in their whole discography is just really good. I saw in the mirror. That's my least favorite ABBA song. So, yeah, like I said, if that one song is my least favorite, well, it's gonna be great reviews for me. But anyways, you guys have any final words, final thoughts before we close out for the night?
People need love.
Ring. Why don't you watch the next video? That sounded a lot better in my head.
Have you, Jacob?
Pretty ballerina. It's
Don't push it. I just forgive you. I just forgiven you.
I have to sing it one more time. I love the song.
How about you, Jason? You have any final thoughts?
I think it's actually one of their best albums I've heard so far. I've heard some of their other albums. I like this more than most of their albums. So for me, it's a top-notch album for them.
Yeah, I still can't believe that. We'll see. We'll see. I want to see. We'll see your reviews, but I still can't believe this is like your second favorite album. I think from them.
Yeah.
I'm correct, but that's definitely gonna be your big hot take. So. My final statement, ABBA is affiliated to one porno from the 70s.
Not gonna let that go.
See you guys later. Bye.